My name is Allie Lawyer, and I am a program manager at Imprint Pediatric Therapy, and today we're going to talk about prompts. Prompts are something that we use in ABA to give physical assistance or guidance to our learners to help them master a task. So we have a series of prompts. There are 6 different types, and we always go in using our most intrusive, which means the most amount of help for our learner, and then gradually decrease the amount of help that we give them until they can get the skill independently by themselves. So for prompt levels, we normally will think in order from most to least, or least to most, depending on the skill that you're wanting to shape or the behavior that you're working with. So for today, we're going to talk in examples of most to least prompting, which just means the most amount of help from us to the least amount of help from us, all the way up until they reach independence, which is always our ultimate goal. Anytime we're teaching a learner a new skill or a new behavior, we always want independence to be our end goal. So the most help that we can give our learner is the full physical prompt. Then we fade to a partial physical prompt. Then we fade to a model of that skill. Then to a gesture, to the correct answer, a verbal cue, a visual cue, and then independence. So we hope that our learner can decrease these steps to independence. So let's talk about what those look like. So if I'm teaching my learner a skill and I want them to touch the cow. So for my learner, I might say, find cow, and I want them to touch the cow. But my learner doesn't have that skill yet. So we're just teaching. So when we're just teaching a new skill, we use a process called errorless learning, which means we go ahead and give them the correct answer so that way they can receive reinforcement faster and more often, which will then help us to encourage that skill that we want. So, for example, if I were to praise them when they touch the dinosaur, that would then be the incorrect answer, and we will be shaping the wrong answer. So what I want to do is I want to show them what I want, and then I want to praise that skill. So that way they will then learn and pair find cow with touching the cow. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's get started. So if I say find cow to my learner, the full physical prompt is going to be a hand over hand touching cow. So this is the most help that I can give my learner. Then the partial physical, which would be the next step that I would give that would be less help, is the partial physical. A partial physical is going to be anything from wrist to shoulder. So if I say find the cow, then I can touch them here on the elbow just to encourage them in the right direction. And so that they already get the pointing down. I'm just helping with the direction that they're touching, or maybe just a prompt for them to know, oh, I have to touch the animal. Then after that is the gestural. Oh, I'm so sorry. After that is modeling. So then I'm going to model the skill for them. So if I'm talking to my learner and I say find cow, I'll model the skill. So I will touch the cow, and then I will wait for them to touch the cow. The skill next after that is a gestural prompt. So I am just going to gesture to the item that I want them to touch. So I'm going to say touch cow, and then I'm going to hold that gesture on the cow, the right answer. And notice how I'm not touching the cow here, I'm just gesturing towards the correct answer. So that encourages them to then touch the cow. A way we can fade that out is we can hold the gesture back. So I might say, find cow, and then hold that gesture back just a little bit. That's less intrusive than this. Then after that, I might give a verbal cue, such as, find cow, the cow is brown, the cow has spots, the cow's on the left side, different verbal cues that I can give them to help them go to the right answer. Which if you can kind of visualize that as hints, that's a less of a hint than me just gesturing or pointing to the correct answer. And then the last prompt is the least intrusive prompt, is a visual cue. So I'm going to do something to point out that this is the cow without doing anything with my body. So I might put a red circle underneath of the cow that indicates that this is the right answer. I might use a proximity prompt, so I might scoot the cow closer to the learner. That would be a visual indication to them that this is the correct answer. Or if I had a ginormous cow and a tiny dinosaur, so I would put the ginormous cow and then I would have the little dinosaur so that the bigger item would then indicate that that was the correct answer. And then I could slowly fade that out. Or if it was the circle, I could slowly fade the circle to where it was nothing. Hopefully that makes sense. Something else that I want to indicate is that on here, where the red is, those are response prompts, which means I'm going to prompt the learner's response, meaning I'm going to affect how they are responding. And then the last one, the visual, is a stimulus prompt, which means I'm going to do something to the stimulus, which is our animals here, to indicate the correct response. So I'm no longer prompting the actual motion of touching the cow. I'm doing something with the stimulus to show that it is the correct answer. So why do we use prompts in ABA? So kind of like I mentioned before, using prompts helps our learner to get the correct answer. We do something in ABA called error lists, which we talked about earlier, because we do not want our learner to err. We want them to contact reinforcement frequently. Reinforcement might be the toy that they're working for, or their favorite food or candy that they're working for, or an amount of time to play, or an iPad. Because the more frequently that they access that reinforcer, the higher probability that they're going to continue this behavior. So if I always am able to reinforce them when they touch the cow, then they're more likely to touch the cow more often. And the more often that we can work on that skill, the more we can fade our prompts and the more likely we'll get to independence faster. So we use those prompts so that they can access the reinforcer more quickly. So get the right answer, access reinforcer. Play, 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 run it again, get the right answer, access reinforcer. So they're getting that positive experience with the correct answer. So hopefully that all makes sense. Just to review, we have the 6: full physical, partial physical, modeling, gestural prompt, verbal prompt, visual prompt, and independence. Thank you all for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. See you later.